here we are, folks, on Whirlwind, and in the upper left-hand corner of the map, we have our pink Zerg player from the team compLexity. It is Sasquatch. And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand corner, it's our yellow Zerg player who's won 2 games in a row for FXO EU. It is Minato.
Minato looking very, very strong right now, but compLexity's bringing out Sasquatch, which is one of their better players. You know, you take a look at the roster, of course, you've got Hard on there, who's just an absolute killer. QXC, a very strong analytic player, but, well, that's actually, what are your thoughts on this? Bringing in a real intelligent-based player out against a player like Minato, who is playing a little unconventional. I'm wondering, you know, is Minato's strength his micro and these skills, or do you think it's more in, like, the type of plays he's going for?
You know, there's a couple of factors I think that have gone into this. Minato has played very well, and I don't want to take anything away from him. I really don't. However, we did see some pretty significant mistakes being made by both Rise and Trimaster in games 1 and 2, and Minato was there with the right kind of force that was able to capitalize on those, whether it was stopping the Hellions and Banshees without taking any damage whatsoever, or following it up with a big counterattack, or in the case of the last game, catching his opponent essentially with his pants down at the moment when he had invested in all of his upgrades and tech and didn't have any units on the map.
So, maybe coming a little bit down to timings, I guess you would say there. But, yeah, especially in Game 1, like, that was kind of just, no, I made a bunch of queens, and you came in with Hellion Banshee, and I used 2 Evo chambers to make a complete wall-off. Like, there was really nothing that could be done. So, some good foresight coming out of Minato so far. But, yeah, I guess, I don't know, that's a tough call on QXC. Either way, Sasquatch is their player. As I said, this guy, pretty good.
Yeah.
He had a great run through an MLG a while back. I think it was 2 ago. It was Anaheim.
So. Was it Anaheim?
Yeah, I think it was Anaheim.
It's either Anaheim or Raleigh, but I forget which one it was.
I'm actually think I'm completely wrong. I think it was Raleigh, because it was when I did the interviews. He got awarded the BIC. They, you know, supporting esports, of course. They wanted to do an interview. He was a breakout player, man. He had quite a performance, taking on a lot of big name players, and now is brought out here face off against Minato in ZVZ.
And as you can see, both players going to end up at about the same result, but in different ways. It was a just generally later pool and gas for Sasquatch. Minato decided to go for his gas a lot faster. He's going to consequently have that Zergling speed done pretty quickly. But Sasquatch, on the other hand, you know, because he went for the later pool in addition to that, ekes out a couple of additional drones in the meantime. So that's really the only difference between these 2 players so far. We're going to see a couple additional drones for Sasquatch, a little bit earlier second queen, but that's about, and a little bit earlier Zergling speed for Minato. But otherwise, things are looking pretty normal. And indeed, this game not going to be what we saw last time for Minato, keeping all 3 workers on gas and going for what we would consider normal Zerg versus Zerg play now. Yeah,
and Sasquatch hasn't seen this quite yet. You know, it is a 4-player map, so it's a little bit tough. And we'll see if he decides to take the safe route. Has dropped a Spine Crawler already. Pre-30 supply, nice and early. You know, as we said, it is a 4-player map, so you never really know what's coming your way. And if he watched those first few games, he knows, hey, you might open with a 14-14. So this is actually super smart out of Sasquatch adapting so quickly.
And Minato is making 8 lings now. He sees the couple of lings running across the map for Sasquatch. 10 lings, actually, at the moment. This is a very strong response to what he's seen so far.
Yeah, it definitely is. Sasquatch getting in here, sees the lings spawning, and he's going to get on the high ground and see him as well. And that is a lot of information for Sasquatch, who immediately starts 8 lings of his own. He doesn't know when speed's quite going to finish, but he'll find out if the Zergling gets out. Nope, it gets poked.
Nope, unfortunately,
With the deadliest poke ever.
Well, actually, I think he has, he's...
Well, he'll see it.
Yep, and there's the afterburners, and there go the Zerglings. So Sasquatch, if he was paying attention to that Overlord, does actually know exactly when speed finished.
And he's got a nice little wall off here. He does want to be careful with these drones. Minato could pick a couple of these off.
All right, well, he's going to try and make his way in. Gets 1, gets 2, 3. That's pretty good damage done already. 4. Not going to be able to do too much else. Nice baneling hit there.
Banelings, though. He did not want to let those get away. So that was a good counterbalance, at least to a certain degree. Still a victory overall for Minato there.
Oh, yeah, of course. But yeah, only 3.
It was better that he got some.
Only 3 Zerglings make their way out of there. 4 workers did go down, but don't forget, the worker count is still very even between our 2 players, because those were all those Zerglings that Minato made were drones that he didn't have.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the coolest place to build a spine crawler ever, Kevin.
Yeah.
Because you actually can't even tell it's building.
It is pretty awesome. Oh, well, I actually want to take a look. Okay, yeah, so we saw the time of layer coming up, and everything looks pretty darn normal apart from that, but yeah.
Let's see if we... Layer's finished, and he hasn't thrown... Okay, Aspire. Yep. All right, so lots of links still on the field for Sasquatch. He'll be able to make some more and more and more. He's making some banelings right now. See if he opts for that quick third. And some banelings are actually coming in from Minato here. This is exactly what we saw in game number 2.
Nice job already picking off one of those banelings before it's able to successfully morph in. At the same time, he's bringing in a couple of his own. And we are going to have Spire versus Spire. This is a big enough map that the difference in the 2 times isn't going to matter too much, because if Sasquatch tries to be aggressive, gets out there, then unfortunately for him, his opponent's Mutalisk are going to basically pop in as soon as they're done. Really nice control from Sasquatch, though. He manages to pick off a baneling without taking really any damage of his own. Lost 1 Zergling, 2 Zerglings to that, I think. Great trade.
That was really nice. Now, some things that will matter, though. Minato has gone for a very fast third base here. And this is going to go one way or another, I guess. Minato's also up in gas. So, I mean, he's only up 1 muta, which is not that substantial, but I've said it once, I've said it a million times, man. The player with more mutas is often the player who wins. So, Minato is, if he can capitalize on this advantage right at some links, making some good contact there for both players. Or banelings, excuse me.
Oh, so close.
Managed to get those, though.
Yeah, really close to getting a nice hit. Now, actually, Sasquatch is going to lose both of these banelings to just single Zerglings, as the first one's going to pop. There it goes. Oh, I see. Sasquatch actually turns around. Very cool stuff. Actually manages to get 2 Zerglings with the first one, whereas, you know, he was bound to lose those just a second ago. So, just a small touch there. Sasquatch was going to lose them anyway and manages to take an extra Zergling with him.
Yeah. Sasquatch does have an economic advantage right now, but as we were saying, he's down on the Mutalisk count. Now, Minato's going to translate that into a very fast carapace here. So he's not really going to have an advantage on the Mutas. His third is faster, and his gases are done, though. Sasquatch, his third is getting close to completion and hasn't thrown down the extractors quite yet. So a little bit behind on that regard as well.
Yeah, he'll definitely want those extractors momentarily. Using his Mutalisks not to just go and try and kill drones or kill his opponent, but just cleaning up map control, which is, I assume, what Minato's going to do here in just a bit. No, he's actually got his in a big flock ready to engage Sasquatches.
Sasquatch getting out of there. He can't afford to lose any mutas. If he falls behind in that Mutalisk count, he's going to be in for a world of hurt. Gets away with 1 Zergling.
Of course, having the Zerglings with this Mutalisk count is going to greatly increase the power of the Mutalisks, though, because Zerglings are going to be absorbing those Gladeworm shots, and that's what you need whenever you move into the attack.
Yeah, especially if you are at the player who's a little bit behind on the... Can we actually look at the muta count right now? 3 and 2 on the way, so Sasquatch will be 1 Mutalisk behind after all the ones that are currently under production wrap up.
All right, so in his +1, Carapace is actually about 50 seconds behind. So as long as he doesn't enter into a big engagement in that 50-second gap, then he's actually going to be just fine.
This will be a nice victory if he can add a Mutalisk. Oh, Sasquatch just evened the field. He got a Queen, he got a Muta, and now things... we still got Minato, you know, ahead on the Carapace, but... And he's going to get a second Queen, in fact. Definitely going to be hampering the production here of Minato. And a lot of drones. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Sasquatch hasn't made too many mistakes here, and that's a really nice advantage for him. He's actually done a pretty good job cleaning up more workers. I think he's totally even the workers killed. In fact, stretched a little bit of an advantage there and finds himself up 7 workers overall.
Well, but he loses the third base, and with it, the gas income, which is going to translate into less mutas and a lot less, but he is switching into Infestors right now. Definitely worthy of pointing out.
Yeah, but he's not going to have that critical gas amount that he needs in order to put up more Infestors. So he's got to reproduce his hatchery right away. He's already queued it up, and he actually has to get out there and he has to engage very quickly. And he's going to engage along with his Zerglings, which is what he needs. But it's those, we talked about that 50 seconds where he doesn't have Carapace.
This is such a good timing for Minato. If he can get a lot of damage in right now, he will be immeasurably ahead with the third base. If he can kill some drones as well. He doesn't want to engage, though, because of those Zerglings on the ground, Kevin. It's going to make it a very unsure engagement. His Infestors are getting ready to spawn, though. Sasquatch, oh, he's hiding the Infestors! Huge fungal growth on these Mutalisks. If he brings the Lings under as well, he's going to be absorbing a lot of damage. Another Infestor coming forward. Lands a fungal on the bottom portion. The Lings now there, absorbing some Gladeworms, and this is huge for Sasquatch, getting this Mutaflock obliterated.
Okay, well, he's it's still kind of a testy situation for him because he's down to his last couple of mutas as well. Nice transfusion, keeps a little bit alive, and he does manage to end up winning the engagement. So very well done. He finds a way to at least equalize for the time being. What's the overall worker count now between our two players? 41 to 40, but he needs his next base, and he needs it quick. You can see the gas disparity, although Minato not been able to take advantage of that because he just put a ton of money into making Zerglings.
Yeah, he has no backup plan. He was so preoccupied with that attack.
Oh no.
Kind of forgot to do anything behind it. Lings are going to come and manage to save these, at least for the moment, but they've stopped moving. And Sasquatch has less Lings here, I think.
It's coming right down to the wire.
An upgrade?
Does he? Let's find out. No.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so they're both on even upgrades, which is none. But it's still even, I suppose. Baneling's finally cleaned up the rest of that, and we do have this base once again, but it's actually going down as it's down to just 100 hit points, but it's barely saved right at the last instant.
Oh,
very
Minato
well done, but another like 6 Lings just running into that hatchery will be able to kill it.
Yeah, and well, he's not making any Lings right now, just roaches. And does Sasquatch have... He doesn't have any mutas anymore, right? He's just
let's take a look.
No, he still has 4. Minato with none. Oh, yeah, of course, the mutas lived after that engagement. So they're going to be swinging in right now. There's very limited anti-air here for Minato. Baneling's making some contact there. It's going to force Sasquatch back, but at the same time, did manage to pick off a drone, I believe. Lost a muta, though.
Yeah, killed... no, he actually didn't kill a drone. Didn't kill a single one. So no damage really done there, and his opponent has a very crushing Roach Force, which is making a beeline towards his third base here in the top right-hand corner.
And Sasquatch doesn't even have a Roach Warren, Kevin. He's just throwing it down right now, but he does have a lot of Infestors. 9, 10 maybe?
Let's take a look. 9. Okay, well, here come the roaches. They're just going to try and pick up this hatchery. Yeah, and Sasquatch is actually just going to let this happen.
Oh, but his drones, the drones managed to get away.
Still lost another few. Looks like Sasquatch... Is he doing any follow-up damage to this? Yes, he is. Okay, I was wondering because his worker's kill just went up too. That Muta actually has 12 kills. So this Muta is actually doing a huge amount of damage, and it's not being picked up on. All the while, Minato is actually being shut down here with these Infestors inside of his opponent's natural. That Muta finally gets cleaned up.
Spine crawlers. He let the spine crawlers finish, threw down infested Terran eggs so that the roaches could only trickle through. He didn't throw down 3 for a complete wall off, Kev. He threw down 2. 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, so only 1 roach could get through at a time. The roaches trickled in, and then he trapped them all right in front of the spine crawlers. That was downright sexy. And his Sasquatch.
And the burrowed infestors came in and killed a base. So now he's found a way to equalize the number of bases overall too.
The forethought that went into that defense, I just... What? His spine crawlers weren't done, guys. The roaches could have all run into the main and bypassed all of this. And, you know, and he just held them in front of the spines. Because the fungals alone, you know, I mean, you're not going to catch every roach. He's going to split some of them.
Sure.
And he had nothing. He had a couple of Zerglings. That was about it. Guys, wow. So where are we at right now with the game? Sasquatch, I mean, maybe a little bit ahead after taking down that natural, but Minato also has that third. He's up on supply right now, taking a look at the economy of both players. It's actually still pretty close.
2 more infested Terrans dropping in just to do a little bit of additional damage at the same time that we have a big engagement. And Sasquatch, why I wanted to point that out before we went to the engagement is because he's always done that just at the moment when his opponent gets that trigger. Your forces are under attack, and his opponent tends not to react to those. So very nice job. Sasquatch holds once again, and his units did kill a couple more workers down here in the bottom right-hand corner. He's up to 22 workers killed now. Yeah,
he is. Now he doesn't have that third base still, which is definitely a little bit of a deficit, but he does have Infestors, and he's doing work with them. The beautiful thing about Infestors, guys, you know, they cost nothing. So it's okay that Sasquatch is on a smaller economy.
All right, well, Sasquatch is taking another base down here in the bottom left-hand corner. He did have this one re-denied up at the top right. So those Brood Infestors, there's 5 of them in total across the map, and that represents a significant amount of energy if you can eventually get those out there. Oh, but these are going to get caught. Bye-bye.
2 get spotted. That last one might get away. I'm just trolling you. But right now he's coming into the third base. Sasquatch is going to pick this off. These units are all the way in the main, so Minato's not going to be able to stop this. That's actually really big for Minato.
Oh, and he's actually going to get his forces caught by those Infestors off to the side, which means that Sasquatch can actually turn around and just straight up engage this. He is at an upgrade disadvantage for now, but it looks like he has enough units that he can just continue pressing forward. Minato's first 7 Infestors are just now coming up, so we once again have kind of an anti-timing in this game where the Infestors did not pop up in time in order to defend the frontline engagement forces.
I am just waiting for this ball of drones, of Vespene drones, mineral drones, and everything to get fungal growth. Where is it? There's only one. Oh, there's the fungal on all these drones up front, and they just can't even engage.
All right. Well, that's pretty much going to be that, honestly. It's 50 supply and falling now for Minato.
Yep.
Sasquatch is at 133 and continuing to pressure his opponent.
This was just, I mean, I was really impressed with that holdout of Sasquatch. Minato doing a great job, though, putting Sasquatch in a tough spot throughout the course of this match.
Sure.
I mean, he was up against the ropes. Like, that was a very difficult hold, and if Sasquatch didn't do it, he would have lost. But did, with some very, very impressive stuff.
All right, trading energy for energy there, but that's not the kind of thing that Minato wants to do at this point in the game. And unfortunately for him, looks like he is going to lose pretty much everything. Sasquatch has forgotten to mine over here. There we go. Now it looks like these drones are underway.
Minerals are hard to click, man.
And that's going to be GG well played from Minato.
That's
and
it.
Sasquatch takes the first game for complexity in this 9-game set.
The Ukrainian Zerg has fallen. Who are they going to send out next? Probably another Ukrainian. This roster's full of them. But really, guys, Minato giving quite a showing there, but does fall down at the hands of Sasquatch, who was equally as impressive, if not more so.
All right, well, looks like coming up next, we're going to have Straylock, the incredible Terran player for FXO EU. Map is going to be Antigua Shipyard. We'll run to a commercial break, and when we come back, it'll be time for game number 4.